What's going on, Aces? Welcome back to the channel. It is Throwback Thursday, one of my favorite days of the week. I hope that all of you are having an amazing day. It's June 1st. It's beautiful weather outside. Today, I want to talk about one of my favorite movies, Waiting to Exhale. I didn't really understand this movie until, I grew up a little bit. It came out when I was a little kid. It was initially a novel written by Terry McMillian, and it was directed by Forrest Whitaker, and the soundtrack is fire. It's one of the best soundtracks of all time, in my opinion. Mostly written by Babyface, who is a musical genius in his own right. But yeah, this movie, it was so important to our culture. And of course, like I said, it came out when I was younger, but I remember just listening to, my family, like my uncles and my aunties talk about it over spades games or family reunions, whatever gatherings. And even in pop culture, among, shows that prominent shows like on WB and UPN, they would talk about, oh, well, Waiting to Exhale is, it's a man hating movie, and, the women would, defend it. I love things that spark discourse like that, And this movie, like I said, again, it's so important for just our culture. It's definitely, it's given us memes. It's given us, this movie is just, it's giving. Okay. Shout out to Terry McMillan. But it is a pop culture phenomenon in and of itself. And it's all about, relationships, interpersonal relationships, friendships, marriages, all kind of situationships. Okay. And I love this movie so much. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the commentary. So again, like I said, Terry McMillan wrote this novel, and the movie came out December 22nd, 1995. It was navigating through careers, family, and romance. So four friends bond over their shortcomings and their love lives. Each of them are trying to, find love in different places. And we have Savannah, who was played by Whitney Houston. She was, quote unquote, like the other woman in her man's life. We have Robin, who was played by Lily Rashawn. And she was, of course, she was caught up in a relationship with a married man as well. Leon's character, Russell, I remember that. And then on the other side of that coin, the flip side, we have Bernadine, who's played by Angela Bassett, who ends up alone when her husband does divorce his wife and goes and ends up with his mistress. And then we have Gloria, who's played by Loretta Devine, and she ends up finding love with a new neighbor. So I was really excited for that happy ending in this movie. So Savannah was, Savannah Jackson. She was a successful television producer, Whitney Houston's character, and she unfortunately believed that, her married lover, who she was like going from city to city trying to find love. She said the men in Phoenix are dead. So she ended up going to Arizona, Scottsdale to be with, or she said the men in Denver were dead. I'm sorry, in the beginning. That's how the book opens and the movie opens. And she's driving to visit Bernadine. And then she realizes that eventually her man is trash. And if he cheats on his wife with her, he would cheat on her eventually, because his wife was having a baby and so on and so forth. But she has to find her own man and really find herself, right? Like that's, I think, the core theme throughout this whole movie was that each of these women had to find their own self-worth and love themselves truly in order to love others. But Savannah, her mom, her mom was hilarious throughout this whole movie. And when I say hilarious, I mean that, of course, a lot of older women are socialized to believe that their worth and value is found in their relationships, in their marriages, and their attachment to men, right? And a lot of cultures think that way, not just ours. But her mom was on the phone like, he's a good man, Savannah, a good man. And shout out to, Funky Dineva. And I've heard so many people use that clip in social media in the year of our Lord 2023. And like I said, this movie is the gift that keeps on giving because it is hilarious. And her mom definitely bodied that role of Savannah's overbearing mother. But yeah, Savannah ended up getting it together. She dumped that drink on his lap and she's like, I'm not mad, baby. The drinks is on you. And she called him a bum because he was, right? So yeah, shout out to Whitney Houston and Savannah in that. And here we have them celebrating, birthdays and celebrations. Like this movie just warms my heart because, like I said, it's about each of them finding their own self-worth, self-value, their love, not only in their relationships with men, but they can come together and lean on each other in times of hardship and heartbreak and trouble. And that's what the movie is about. It's about friendship. But we have them celebrating Gloria's birthday, and they are just having fun, listening to old records, reminiscing, and again, that's what it's about, right? Girlfriends. Girlfriends. Here we have Savannah with not the dude that I was talking about earlier, but another one, and she's like, "Girl, huh?" And she's like, "Nah, I'm gonna keep her at the zoo." This movie is hilarious. Oh my goodness. Okay, so here we have Robin, and her issues with men are just, again, relatable, right? So Robin Stokes, she's a high-powered executive, and she's a longtime mistress of the married man Russell, who's played by actor Leon. And after dumping him, she, realizes that she has some problems, but she's going out with this dude named Troy, who shows up late. He's drunk, he's high, he's a hot mess, talking about, can I use your bathroom? And she's like, no, get out of here. And he throws an orange at her. And then he buys the yard. And I'm telling you, like when I watched this movie as a kid, I remember singing, Mary J. Blige's, song "Not Gonna Cry." I was your lover in your secretary, and I'm like in elementary school. You couldn't tell me that I wasn't working every day of the week, married for 11 years. But I'm telling you, this scene was hilarious. Again, I see it all the time on social media too. The memes, it's hilarious. But Robin ends up getting it together, even though she finds out she's pregnant by Russell. And he's like, "What do you want me to do?" She's like, "What you do best, disappear." And she ends up growing up for her and her child. So kudos to Robin. Of course, we cannot talk about this movie without talking about the infamous scene with Bernadette, Bernie Harris, who abandoned her own career and dreams of becoming a caterer to instead raise a family and support her husband, John, in building his company. She has a master's in business, and unfortunately, she was sticking by his side when he announces that he's going to leave her for a mistress with whom he works, sending her into an emotional tailspin that culminates in them fighting over assets after she burns his car, his clothes, and some of his other belongings, and then sells the rest of his things for $1 each, and he retaliates by draining their bank accounts. So in the end, her lawyer comes through. She ends up, coming out on top financially, but also emotionally. I feel like she's grown a lot. She ends up forgiving him in the end. But right here, this scene is infamous. She should have won an Oscar for this this scene alone. I love it. I love Angela Bassett. You already know that. And then we have them celebrating New Year's. And Gloria, she's the beauty salon owner. I don't want to gloss over her. Gloria Matthews, she's a single mother. Her ex-husband and the father of her son tells her that he before was always bisexual, but now he realizes that he's gay. And she eventually falls in love with her new neighbor, Marvin King. So she is the one who has the happily ever after when it comes to relationships, which I'm so excited for that. Like, I really wish that there could have been a spinoff with this movie that highlighted, Gloria and Marvin and their happily ever after. but also seeing all of the women move on, and find new love and a new life. So Forrest Whitaker or Babyface or whoever out there, if you ever hear this video, we would love a sequel. But the soundtrack was fire. Everybody from Brandy sitting up in my room to, Whitney Houston singing her own Shoop Shoop, and just, I mean, the soundtrack is gold. Mary J. Blige, like I said, Not Gonna Cry was my favorite. But anyway, drop down in the comments. Let me know your favorite scene, your favorite song from the soundtrack. I would love a sequel if, that could ever happen. I don't know who they would get to replace Whitney. Rest in peace. She is just gone too soon. But I would love to see this reprised if possible. So drop down in the comments, you guys. Let me know your thoughts on Wait and Exhale, and I will talk to you later. Take care, Aces. Bye.